Okay, welcome guys to the next Blender tutorial. So today we're going to be making some Halloween styled gates. Now I have had a few requests from a few people asking me to make certain things and do tutorials on those. So I'm going to be looking into doing a few tutorials on gaming, and I'm also going to be looking at doing a few tutorials on map making as well. So depending on your PC and depending on how much detail you want to put into that is dependent on whether you can make the entire project. So I'm going to try and make some projects where maybe it's a little, how do I put this, a little less strain on the CPU, so to speak, in the graphics card. So what we're going to do today is the Halloween-y Gothic styled gates. So what we're going to do, we might actually need this default cube, so I'm going to start with this. Let's go to edit mode. I'm just going to go on to the face option just at the top right here, and let's go with the screencasting keys. Yep, okay, so what we need to do, let's go with G and just bring this up. This is going to be one of the side pillars for the gates in particular. What we're going to do, let's go with a side view so you guys can see what's going on. I'm just going to press 1 on that one. Okay, so when we do the top right here, we're going to go with E for extrude. Just pull this out. S to scale outwards. It's got that nice little bump coming up. I'm just going to press G and just make that a little bit taller. And then we're going to go with E for extrude again. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go S first. Scale this up a little bit, E for extrude. And then we'll go E for extrude again. And we will scale inwards, just as such. I'm just going to press G and just bring that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to go E for extrude again, keep it where it is. Scale it in. And then we'll go E for extrude just to bring this up to the top. And then E for extrude just to round that off so it looks a little bit weathered. So, once you've got something like this, what we can do now is we can go with, let's go object mode again. We'll go add. And we're going to add a sphere. So UV sphere. Should appear at the bottom just here. Just press G to bring it up. And we're going to place this on top just here. So what we can do with this is we can scale this down. Shade this smooth. Can have some of those really fancy kind of gothic kind of gates. I'm just going to go ahead and go into edit mode real quick, and I'm going to look underneath. So what we're going to need is the toggle X-ray just to see underneath here. And what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and take all of the faces just at the bottom right here. Now obviously you're selecting these ones at the side right there. So what I'm going to do, just take off the toggle X-ray. If you can see this, just pull the sphere up slightly. We're just going to go E for extrude and just bring this down. So you've got it like this. So the next part of this, let's go ahead and go to object mode again. We'll go to the stand and then edit mode. And what we're going to do is take the front and the back. So front and back are both selected, or sides even. See, if I press 1 like this, that's the front. So if we go front and then shift and click the back, we can go E for extrude again, scale it inwards. So this will be pretty flat at this point. We'll press G, just move it up just ever so slightly. And what I'm going to do is S for scale, just to bring it in just as such. So you should have something like this. What we're going to do, press S for scale, and we're just going to go outwards to make this flat. So now we've got both sides that are flat-ish. Okay, so I'm just going to press S for scale. Just going to scale this outwards just ever so slightly. And what I'm going to do, S again, and we'll go forward just ever so slightly. So we've got that nice little wear and tear. So we've got this nice little bit that's coming out here. E for extrude again. Keep it where it is. S for scale. Bring it in. We're going to scale upwards. Oops. Bit too much there. So scale upwards just about there. Scale inwards just about here. Scale outwards again. Just to make that flat. And then we're going to go E for extrude, leave it where it is, S for scale, and then just bring it in. So now we have this kind of motion going on. Yeah. So you can do some designs on here, some different things. You can go ahead and Control R and make some loop cuts if you wanted to, and then just kind of pull some of this detail out. We could actually do that now, actually. Let's go Control Z. I'm just going to go ahead and just scale this inwards just a little bit so we can get some more of that detail in there. So now we should be like this. Let's go Control R. Scale this up a little bit, and what we're going to do, take some of the faces and we'll go this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and we'll just go in a pattern just down the side, just here. Ba, ba, ba. Maybe not that one. There we go. Just hold shift as you're clicking them. E for extrude. S for scale. Should be able to pull those vertices out. If you can't, we can go E for extrude again, and we can go G and just move those to the front ever so slightly. And then what we can do is S for scale. See if we can just bring that out just a little bit. Apparently not, but for the front of this looks great. Now if you were going to go to the back, you could do the same. So we could go ahead, just select every two. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the version of Blender you have. So E for extrude again, S for scale, and then we could just press G and just bring these out. So yeah, I think it depends on the version of Blender you have, because sometimes I do things on Blender and then it doesn't respond and I'm like, why is it doing that? Okay, so the next part that we can do right here is we can go ahead and make the other side of the gate. So if you take this object right here, or objects, because you've got 1 and 2, we could go ahead and we could place material right here. Let's press plus. So this will be a base material, and then we could go ahead and we could edit a few things with this one if we wanted to. So just leave that one blank at the moment, and we've just got the base right here. So this will be the base. Let's go base color. Okay, so let's go Shift D, bring this across. Also select this one as well. So Shift D, bring these across. Select the ball on top and just go to the drop down right here to base color for both of them. So now we're going to start making the gate. So what we need to do with this, we need to find the midpoint within the gate. So if you've just done what I've done, which is in the middle, you can go ahead and you could use that if you wanted to, but if you really wanted to measure it out, let's press Control Z. Right, so we've got the correct texture on this. Let's select them both. And we're going to go Shift D, and you can press 1, and that will put that next to it. But if you press 10, you'll have this. And if we go, maybe we could go 12, just about here. So what you should have in the middle is 6. So let's go ahead and add a cube, and we're just going to make our mid-center right here. So let's go ahead, elongate that, just scale it down a little bit. And what we can do is we can go G, move it across, and press 6. Now this should be the center of our gate, and as we can see, we have equidistance on each side. So using this one as the marker, we can now make the gates on one side potentially, and then we can flip them for the other side. So let's see, we will go with a pointy kind of gate look. So I'm going to go with cylinder. I'm going to press G, move it, let's go with 3, so it's just in the center. And what I'm going to do, I'm kind of making this the opposite way on this side. So if we turn this around, let's move this outwards just a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and scale this down. I'm going to go ahead and scale this up. And what you want to do is you want to make a texture for this as well. So I'm just going to press G, make sure that this is just around the line just here. So you see this line that's at the bottom right here. What we're going to be doing is putting a wall next to this piece. You want your gate in line with this, but you want it slightly higher so it doesn't scrape the ground, essentially. So it's physics at the end of the day. So make sure this is nice and tall. And you can do this any way that you would like. You can put this up, put this down. So what I'm going to do, let's see, we'll make a nice little spike at the end of this. So I'm just going to go shade smooth. We'll go to edit mode. Take the end right here. And what we're going to do, we'll make this into a nice little pike. Right there. Let's go with E-fret extrude. Just pull it out just a little bit. Give it that nice little bevel. E-fret extrude, leave it where it is. Scale it outwards. And then we're going to go E-fret extrude. And then E-fret extrude. And we'll just bring this in. So it's got a nice little point. So what you're going to want to do at this point is we go to edit mode. Make sure you shade smooth. We'll go to the materials tab right here. And what I'm going to do, let's see. Let's put this material as a new one. New material. And we're just going to go with black railing. Black railing for this one. And what we can do, change this to a nice deep grey. Maybe turn up the metallic a little bit. Just so it's got that nice little kind of shine to it. If you haven't already, change out your EV cycles. So you should have this nice little shine coming through on the render tab right there. So what I'm going to do, so you've got the side view right here. So we have, we've put this 12 paces apart. And we've put this as a 6. This is a 3. So what we're going to need to do is we'll go with Shift D. And I think we should be 1.5. We should be roughly. My brain's not braining today. 1.5 on that side. And we can go Shift D. And you want to press minus 1.5 on this side. And then what I'm going to do, let's press G. And I'm going to bring these down a little bit so we've got a nice little arc coming through. G, just bring this down, make sure it's kind of like an angle going upwards. Okay, so we got the 1.5. Let's go with 1 second. I want to get the measurements right on this one. So we had 1.5 and then we are dividing by 2, so that will be 0.75. So let's go with this one and we'll go Shift D. And we're just going to type in 0.75. That should be about halfway there. For this one, we'll go with Shift D. You want to change it to this side. So we're going to go minus 0.75. And then for this one, we're going to go again, Shift D, minus 0.75. And then from here, what we can do is press G, bring this down so it roughly sits in the middle, just about here. This one roughly sits in the middle of these two, just about here. And then this one can go a little bit higher because it's the center of the gates. Or at least one of the centers of the gates. Let's go Shift D, move this across, and we are 0.75 even. Where was it at? 7.5 should be like that. Okay, so let's press G, bring this up. And what I'm going to do with this one is just move it slightly to the side because this is the center right here. And I want a little bit of space just here. So we can move these two just a little bit over. So now what we have is this issue of overhang at the bottom. So to fix the overhang right here, what I'm going to do, Let's go to side view on this one. I'm going to go ahead and go to edit mode. So each one of these should roughly line up here, but we need that little bit of space. So let's select the face at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and press G. And I'm going to bring it up. So if I go ahead and just put this into perspective for you guys. So you've got the end of the pillar right here. Let's go G, bring this up. And maybe we could go roughly just under the red line, just here. And then we're going to go object mode, go on to your next one, edit mode, take the base face, press G, and we'll bring it up to roughly the same line. And then we'll go on to the next one and do the same with this one. So it's also trial and error a lot of the time with what you're doing. So if you make something and then you can kind of go, okay, yeah, I don't like the length of that, let's go ahead and amend it. Let's go G. Right there. And then we've got 3 more just here as well. Let's go ahead and amend that one. Just about there. And then we've got this last one right here. We're going to go G, just bring that up. So they're roughly the same size. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you imagine a gate's been set out there for a while. Maybe some of it's rusted, some of it's fallen off. Bits of it have been damaged. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be perfect. So the next bit that we want to do is make kind of little arches, put some bars across here, maybe make it a little bit more gothic. So what I'm going to do with this is add, and we'll go with cylinder again. Press G, bring it across. We're going to go rotate 90 degrees, scale this down. Make sure that this is roughly the same size as the bars that we've just made. It could be a little bit bigger. Could be a little bit smaller if you wanted it to, but roughly the same size. So we're just going to go S, scale this out. Just go ahead and make sure that this fits on either side. What we could do, because bars naturally wouldn't go between, what they do is they'd solder them on the side just here. So don't put them directly in between, and what you could do is just press G. And just for example, we could go with Shift D and we can move this across. So there's 2 bars on either side. Not only does this give your gate a little bit of depth, it also gives it a little bit of detail. Can't get my words out today. It gives it a little bit of depth and it gives it a little bit of detail. So you could do something else as well. You could go ahead and squish these down if they're too chunky. So if we just take that one off and amend it, we can go scale and we can go ahead like this. So it's a nice little thin bar that goes across. For the material, we go to drop down and just select black railing. And this is what it should look like. So now we've got this nice little black railing kind of coming into fruition. Excuse me. I'm just going to press G, bring this down. So we can kind of box off the bottom there. I'm just going to go ahead, click Shade Smooth. Let's go with Shift D and we'll move this across to the opposite side as well. Give it that little bit of thickness. And then I'm going to take these 2 bars right here and I'm just going to press Shift D, move these up to a midpoint. And then from here, maybe we could go ahead and we could go Shift D, pull these up, and then scale this in. Let's press G into the center just there. And kind of have this kind of half bar coming across. So maybe just about there, and then scale outwards just at the sides. So now we've got this nice little half bar coming across, this nice little bar at the bottom right there. Let's see. And as well, these structures that you kind of see with gates and stuff, they have a centre pole that's a little bit thicker. So we could go ahead and change this one as well. Although we've moved this, we could go ahead and amend this and make this a little bit thicker at the sides as well, for handles and stuff. So, let's go ahead and add a cube. Actually, no, let's go ahead and add a cylinder. I think it'd look way better with the cylinder. Let's press G. I'm just going to go ahead and we'll rotate this by 90 degrees. So 90 right there. Scale this down. This can be a little bit thinner or a little bit thicker depending on your preferences. Totally up to you. But make sure that you've got this against the bar at the side. Scale this down. We're just going to go ahead and move this just to there. And I'm going to go for edit mode. And what we're going to do with this, we can go, let's take this face right here, E for extrude. And we're just going to press G, bring it up. E for extrude, press G, bring it up. And we're just going to make a little arch. E for extrude, bring it to the next bit. G, bring it up. So try and follow the arch of your spikes on this one. So E for extrude, bring it across. We're going to go G, bring it up. Then E for extrude, bring it across. And then G will bring this up. E for extrude, bring it across. And you kind of get the pattern of what I'm doing here. E for extrude. And then we're going to go G, bring it up. So at the other side, it kind of looks a little bit deep on the angle right here. So what I'm going to do, let's take this piece right here. I'm just going to press G and I'm just going to bring this down just ever so slightly so that it doesn't arch as much. And I'm just going to extrude it at the end and just kind of scale it off a little bit. What you can do is if your angle is a little bit too sharp on this side, you can press the X-ray mode. And then you can go ahead and select that angle and just change it to where you need it to be. So if we just go on to the points right here, take these points in the middle, and we just press G, just bring it up as such. So once we've got this part, and I'm going to just take this end one and just arch it down just a little bit so you've got that nice little arch going on. You can also do Control R in the middle right there. Just press G. And you can arch the centerpieces as well. So you can have some little wacky patterns going across here as well. Let's go with object mode real quick. I'm just going to go to the drop down and black railing. Let's go Shift D. So let's go Shift D right across there. Just go ahead and shade smooth for both of these objects. Then take both of these objects, this one and this one. And we're just going to go ahead and Shift D it again and bring it down. So it's got that nice little kind of crisp arch coming through. So on this part, we're nearly finished with the gate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one right here, Shift D. Bring it across. I'm just going to elongate it slightly and then bring it in. So this is going to be where maybe the key lock is. And we're just going to go ahead and, Shift D that again. And just bring that across. So this is probably where the gate locks up. So what we can do with the center point right here, we can actually add to this. So I'm going to go Shift D again. And as I said in the prior one, this needs thickening up on one side. So let's go with G, bring this into the center right here. Let's see, scale outwards. And then I'm going to go with edit mode, select the base face. I'm just going to press G, bring this down all the way to the bottom guard. So you've got it like this. And then what we can do, just make sure that lines up. You can go E for extrude and just scale that down so that it's flush. And this particular piece, we're going to go to the drop down menu in the materials section, black railing. You can scale this outwards just ever so slightly as well. So it should look something like this. And then what I'm going to do, we need some hinges. So let's take this one right here at the front. Let's go Shift D. Let's duplicate it, scale it down. So you have something like this. And then we're going to go G, bring it across. And make sure this fits between the pillar and the gate, and you can scale this outwards just slightly as well. This is going to be the hinge. So you can have your hinge there, and then we can go Shift D, have another hinge just at the side right here, or maybe we could lower that one just a little bit. Maybe we could go Shift D, one in the middle. So got some nice hinges. And if you were animating this, you would just leave the hinges where they are and then have the gate as the object that moves. So let's do the other side. Let's take this divide out in between. Just go ahead and delete that one. And what we should be able to do is take all of this, if we box select it, minus your camera off and minus your light. Just double click for those. We go Shift D, move this across. Now this is the point where I get it wrong, because I choose the wrong option. So if we just move it across to this part, just where it fits and sits, we can right click and then we can go mirror, and it should be, if I get this right, it should be Z local. No, it's not Z local. Let's try again. This is the part where I struggle. Let's see, Z global. I mean, it's flipped, but it's not where we want it to be. It's going to take you a while to try and figure this out. Let's go Y global. Okay, X global. Yeah, there we go. Right, X global. So, just take it and just place it to the side on that part right there. So, doesn't have to be perfect. Not everything's perfect, but you have a nice little gate going on. Let's go ahead and add a plane, just to give this a little bit of depth. This is a great build for gaming, by the way. If you're building games or anything like that, you could have like little areas with gated off stuff. You could also go ahead and take this. Maybe we could go Shift D, bring this across, scale this down a little bit. G, maybe like a locked gate kind of theme. So we just go like that. It's kind of like it's locked, you can't get to this section of the game. So yeah, the next bit to build would be essentially a wall coming down the side of it, and maybe some more railings as well. So what we can do, let's go with add, and we'll go cube. Press G, just bring it up to where you need it to be. Just bring it across, scale it, slide it, just like that. Maybe make it a little bit thinner so we can go S for scale. Let's go in. There we go. Just make it a little bit thinner than the pillar itself. Let's go G. Bring this across. And what we can do with this, you can either make this as a little bit of a stone wall, or you could add a brick texture to it. To be honest with you, I'm going to make this a stone wall today. So we'll go E for extrude. Scale outwards at the side. You can make this a little longer if you need to. I would say stay in flush with the pillar itself. So we could go with, let's see, S for scale. Just pull that in just ever so slightly, and then E for extrude. And then E for extrude again. And then scale it inwards. Just as such. So I just take this off X-ray mode for 2 seconds. You've got this nice little wall that's coming through right here. What I would suggest is don't clip the edge of it. So this is kind of clipping right here. You see how this is kind of going into the side. So what I can do to solve that is we can go object mode and we could just go and move this. You want that nice little gap that goes in between, because naturally walls will generally be made as like, so you put brick to brick rather than brick going over brick. So, yeah, just leave that little bit of a gap. It kind of makes it look like it's been built in two different parts. So you've got the wall there, you've got this here. We go Shift D, duplicate it. And again, we just want that little gap right there. So once we've got this, if we go into the render mode, right here, we can kind of see what's going on. Obviously there's no sun at the moment. We've got a lamp. Let's go G. Bring this across. Maybe we can make this sun. And just pull the exposure down just a little bit, because that's way too much exposure. Maybe make the sun a little bit yellow as well, so you've got that nice little natural hue. And then we can go alpha rotate and just kind of mess around with these shadows a little bit. Oops. Oi. They're going everywhere. Trying to find that perfect point. It's looking a bit gamey at the moment. So, yeah, we've got this little bit right here. So, what we need to do is add some texture to essentially the pillars that we have right here. So, we could go to shading. Let's go with render just for a moment so we can see what's going on. We have principal BSDF and we have material output. Now, we can use a noise texture, or we could use one of these other textures right here. You've got sky texture, Voronoi texture. Voronoi texture, I would say, if the wall is cracked, you could have this in the background. So I would say Voronoi texture, we could go with roughness. But you're going to need a bump texture with this. So let's go bump and add this to it. It's not going to show up straight away, but what it is micro details. So say like you've got like small scratches on glass or something like this. Voronoi is excellent for doing stuff like that, as long as you're putting it into the roughness or the metallic. So it'll show up in little bits all over. So if you had, say, like limestone or something like that, Voronoi texture is great at making kind of a limestone kind of texture, as long as you can get it to work with your object as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get rid of these real quick. Let's go with add, and we'll go to noise texture. Color to base color. You see that we've got all these lines going on there as well. This is great for, say, like weathering and stuff like that. So you can put that into your roughness, you can put that into your metallic. Today we're going to put this into just the color, so I'm just going to go with bump. Place this in the middle. We're going to go color with height. Generally, I think it should work on most of the blenders, but this particular one doesn't want to do it. So we're going to have to do it the opposite way. Let's go color ramp first. It's spitting out its dummy. It doesn't like to do that. So let's go with color base, and we're going to go with color from noise texture to FAC. And now we get this nice little rough texture going on. If we improve the black on here, we can see that we get more staining. If we improve the whites, you can see that it brightens up a little bit. And if you bring both of them together, it contrasts. So, depending on how you'd like the rock to look, you could do different things. So we could go plus with this, and we could go with this third colour of a green. So say like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's in the middle of a swamp or something, and I don't know, it's been left for years and no one's cleaned it, and this is just like swamp stuff that's kind of grown on it, like there's mold and stuff like that. We could scale this up as well, like multiple molds. You could have it like this, maybe a little bit of staining from the trees and stuff. You could take this white, maybe it's no longer, maybe it's like an industrial place or something, and I don't know, smog and stuff has discoloured it. Maybe it's next to a road, pollution. I don't know, whatever you want to do with your piece, it's totally up to you. Just tell the story, I guess. So I'm just going to put mine as regular stone at the moment, and we're going to go back to that bump texture that wasn't working. So within my version, I have to do the colour ramp first, and then I can put the bump in, and we'll go colour to height. So what the bump texture essentially does is it's supposed to make indents and stuff, but for some reason it just doesn't want to work. So we're definitely on cycles. Yeah, definitely on cycles. For some reason, I don't know why the newer versions do this, but sometimes, like, I think it's a little bit of a glitch within mine. I might have to re-download. But yeah, you can get small issues like that. So what I'm going to do, let's go with a bit of distortion, just to kind of pull some of those details in. I'm just going to pull the black back, just ever so slightly. Maybe just about there. Pull the white forward, and maybe make it a cream. A bit more creamy. Yeah, that's great. So, this would be great for, say, like churchyards and stuff like that. You'll notice that the same texture is now on the balls as well as this one, because we did this before. We put them at the same texture. So with these walls as well, what we can do is we can go ahead, go down to the drop down, and we can go base color on this one, and we could go base color on this one. But where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? I think I might have base color at the top and not the bottom. So what I'm going to do is let's go to layouts real quick. And let's go and edit a few things. So if we take this wall right here, we can go to edit mode. Take your front face, your side face, and this face right here. And we're going to go to plus. We're going to click new. And this new material is going to be brick. So what we can do, click assign. And then what we can do, I'm going to compare this wall to this wall, and we'll see how we can make this look. So this is totally dependent on how you'd like your projects to be. So we've got the original wall right here that we had, which looks really dull, boring, and then we've got this one that we're going to amend. So what we can do with this, we've got principal BSDF and a material output right here. We're going to go add, and we want a texture. We're going to go to brick texture, color to base color, and you'll see that you get a lot of lines here. Now, depending on which way this is facing, depends on which way the lines are going to go. Unfortunately, this one for some reason just wants to go sideways, but that's okay. We can amend the mortar size. We can do whatever we need to. Maybe on this one we've got some vertical kind of bricks going on. Maybe it's a fancy pattern or something like that. If your bricks are going sideways, brilliant. Mine aren't. So I'm just going to make this as a nice funky pattern. Right, so we've got this right here. We can go to add, we can go to color ramp. Stick this in the middle. And we could go ahead and just make some little textures in here and outside of it. So we could go plus. We could have maybe a little bit of staining. Let's go with kind of a yellow kind of stain. Going with that one. Maybe just darken it in places as well. And we can also do, let's add a noise texture. We go to color and we can go to color 1. This will give us a little bit of texture on these parts, a little bit of weathering as well. Mortar size, we could take this down to maybe, instead of 0.02, we could go 0.01. It's a little bit thinner. We can go ahead and add a bump texture to this as well. Maybe try it on this side. Okay. Yeah. Let's move this to this side. Oops. So you want to go colour to base colour. Take this off. Oops. So you want to go colour to height with this one. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that one. Normal to FAC. Should be able to do something with that, but to be honest with you, for some reason it just doesn't want to work. Yeah, I mean you could just do your texture the way that it is. So let's go Shift D, move this down. We could go colour to colour 2. And you can scale this upwards or downwards depending on what you want. Take the roughness in a little bit. And what we can do as well, we can add some browns to this, some greens. Maybe just there. Just on the opposite side. Make this a little bit of a deeper tone. Yeah, so we've got something like that. So it's got these little patterns on there. It's got some nice little cream tones. I think most of this you kind of have to experiment with, because sometimes things don't go the way that they plan out to be. So say roughly about that texture. Should be okay. To be honest with you, I'm going to go back a little bit because I like the other texture. I kind of like this deep kind of brown. Let's go scale this up just a little bit. Give it that little variant. And then I'm just going to go ahead and scale the opposite side as well. Just to add a little bit more texture that's different from the other one. So with this top piece here right as well, what we could do, let's go to layout real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and just save this because it's getting a little bit slow. I would recommend you save this. So let's go with gates. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the texture on this one as well. Let's go to materials. What you want to do is go to edit mode, and to select the base colour, all you need to do is go onto base colour, select, and then it should highlight the base colour. What we're going to do, plus, and we're going to go new, and we'll say that this is a darker brick. Oops. Okay, I missed the key, 1 second. Yeah, my computer's slowing down like real quick. So let's go darker one. Let's put darker in there, seems to work. So what we can do now is click assign, and then we can make this kind of like a black as well. So what you want to do, make sure you don't select these ones at the bottom either. So you just want these at the top. Let me just go off render mode just for 2 seconds. Let's go shift, just deselect these ones. You want the darker assigned to this one. So, and maybe just click that one off at the back, but that's okay, we don't really need that one at the moment. So the darker one, we could go ahead, we can have a little bit more roughness on there. And what we can do with this as well, we can go ahead and add a noise texture. So colour to base colour. You got all these little bumps going on. Add a colour ramp. Don't let me. Come on. You see how slow my computer's going at the minute. Right, let's go and add. And then we go colour ramp. Let's make that nice and contrast. Scale this up. Let's maybe pull this across just a little bit so it's kind of like you've got this nice little roughness on there, but it's not too much. Okay, so compared to the gate opposite, we can see that we've got a lot more detail within this gate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and delete this one on this side, and then we can go ahead and just duplicate this one over onto this side. So once we've done this again, just make sure this isn't clipping, make sure there's like that little nice gap going on that we spoke about before, and we can put this in the way. Now for these pillars in the middle, what we can do, edit mode, you see the ones that are already selected are the ones that are sticking out. So what you want to do is select the ones that are on the inside, basically doing a reverse Uno. I missed one. And we can do this to the opposite side as well. So what we're going to do, these ones in particular, we'll press plus, down menu, and we'll go darker, assign. So now, when we go to the object mode, we'll have it like this. Now that's totally up to you whether you want to do something like that, but it's an option that you can have. Because the alternative is like this. Totally up to you if you want to do that and just enhance those a little bit, but if you just want the brick like that, you can have it like that. So the next bit that we could do is, let's go for the base that we've made right here. We could go ahead and go to shading tab again. Got our little gate right here. We can go new with this one, add, and then we're going to go brick texture. So the brick texture right here, color to base color. See that you get some lovely little bricks, but they're a little bit too big. So we're just going to go ahead and scale these down. Now, you do have the option here of making the bricks individually, or you can go ahead and you can use a background for this. So, what I would suggest, if your computer is more high-end, then you could make individual bricks for this. It would look great. If your computer's more of a lower-end computer, stuff like this is probably going to be easier on your processor. So, yeah, you could do your brick texture right here, and you've got all your little individual bricks. So I'm going to do it both ways so that you guys can see what's going on. But first I'm going to add some trees, and I'm going to add the background as well. So, you've got the basic bricks there if you want them. For this particular build, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these railings right here, and I'm just going to make a little railing run just at the side right here. So we can go ahead and Shift D with this one. Move this to the side. Now you could have that little arc again if you wanted to, but to be honest with you, I'm just going to keep it the way that it is. So let's go G. It doesn't matter if it goes through the floor at this point because you're not going to see it. I'd say that's roughly the same height. Okay, let's go with Shift D, and I think we're -1. Select them both, Shift D, and then we can go -2. Select them both, Shift D, -4. Select them both, Shift D, -8. You're just doubling every time, or at least you should be. That one didn't work, apparently. Yeah, you got those ones. These, and these. Shift D, -8. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then you've got that extra one that's just sitting on the edge, or extra 2 even. We're just going to go ahead and delete those. Take all of these, Spock selects them, and you can go ahead and just like arrange them on the other side. To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter at this point whether they're straight or not. Absolutely perfect. What we can do, take these off. We can make the bars that go across first, and then we can duplicate them. So if we take this one on this side and this one on this side, you see on the two sides of the gate right here, we can go Shift D, we can move this across, and then we can just elongate this. So G, moved into center right there, S for scale, G, moved across. Let's go and place that into the actual wall. You could have the overhang if you wanted to, and then I'm going to go Shift D and then bring these up like that. So now all we need to do, whilst on side view, box select, take all of these and duplicate them over to the opposite side as such. So when we have the render on, we should see something like this. Nice little gates going through. So the next bit that we could do, you could have an overhang arch here if you wanted to. I think we should make one actually. Let's see. The best way of doing this, let's go to add, and we'll go with circle. Press G, and we were 6 in the middle, so let's press 6. Get that nice in the middle just there. You see how we've got the little O-ring right there, the little circle. Let's go R for rotate. We'll rotate this 90 degrees, and we'll press S to scale this up just to the sides, G to bring this up, and now we have this little arch that's coming across the top right there. Now we want to get rid of this bottom part, and we also want to make this a kind of archway, so we're going to press F for fill. And what I'm going to do is, let's go for E for extrude. E for extrude. You just bring this across right here. And we're going to go E for extrude on this side, bring this across right here. Make sure it's covering both sides of the gates as such. And what we can do is take this middle one right here, this middle face, we'll press delete faces. Again, delete faces. If we've got the side view right here, we could go box select. And you want to basically delete all the faces on this side. So, let's go for X-ray mode right here. So you want this face all the way to this face on the opposite side. Let's go with that again, sorry. So click one of your faces right here. You want to go Shift, Control. And you just want to get rid of this side. So that should be, I think, one more up. Yeah, just about. So let's press D right here. We'll go faces. We're going to press A to select everything. E for extrude. Bring this up. And then what we can do is object mode, shade smooth. You can go ahead and scale this out if you want to, just to elongate it. Just press G. Bring this over the top of the fence just here. And we're just going to go, I'm just going to scale it in just to try and get that nice little arch going on. And then we can press, let's go with drop down first, black railing. Then we go Shift D. And I'm just going to start to put these over the top. Just kind of like little nice archways just here. And what you could do with this, you could put some more detail in there too. So maybe we can make these a little bit thinner. Just scale these down. It's got that nice little bar coming across the top. Let's go add cube. G. It was 6 in the middle. So let's press G and bring this up. Scale this upwards. Scale this down. Press G right here. You could have some circles in here if you wanted to as well. Nice little design. Go to your drop down. We want darker in the middle. Let's go Shift D. Let's go 3 in the middle there. Let's go G, bring this down. And you want to go with Shift D, bring this across, and I think we were 1.5, weren't we? So minus 1.5, just in the middle right there. And this one, Shift D, move across, and you want 0.5, sorry, 1.5, where am I going 0.5? 1.5, so you got the middle bit there, should have at least. Put that on the side. Something looks a little bit off with that. But yeah, we can go ahead, Shift D, minus 3. G in the center. Shift D again, and we want 1.5 in the center right there. Let's press G, bring it up. And then for this one, we want to go Shift D again, and minus that's 1.5. Yeah. I told you my brain's fried today. So now we've got this nice little archway that's going on. So, yeah, let's do a few trees. And I'll show you how to do the cobbles if you've got a more high-end PC that can handle it. So what I would suggest at this point is press save. File, save. And if you want to do the trees separately, we can press save as. So, let's see. So trees, we want to go to add, and it should be under curve, and then sample tree gen. If you don't have sample tree gen, go to the edit, preferences, and then from preferences, you can't see my pop-up right here, but go to, I think it's add-ons, and then just type in tree, and it should say, the same as here. So curve, sample tree gen. And what you'll get in this is a tree will appear, and it'll be in the most awkward place because you can't see it. You can go ahead and go into X-ray mode. You can kind of see it right there. This sample tree gen menu is at the bottom right here. You can go ahead, load present. You can have willows. You could have Japanese maples. They're beautiful to work with, by the way, if you're interested. Weeping willow. You can do those as well. I think we'll go with weeping willows today. So make sure you don't click anything else but the box at the moment, because if you want leaves and you want to show leaves, we're going to have to put the leaves in. So what I would recommend, because this is a Halloween piece, and obviously with it being autumn or fall, the leaves are going to be on the ground. What I would suggest is put the leaves on the tree, and then we'll deal with the leaves afterwards. So let's see. I kind of like this tree the way that it is. Just going to select it all. What you're going to get is you're going to get the tree, and then you're going to get the leaves. So I'll just box select it. I'll select it all. Scale it upwards. What we can do is we can press G. Bring this to the side right here. Maybe just imagine there's a path going through here. You're going to want to be able to get through. So with the trees themselves, you can see that you've got this right here at the back. We could go with materials. You could go ahead with materials and have this as a texture material with the noise if you'd like to, or you could just have general materials. It's totally up to you. It's your project. So we could go with, I'm going to turn the roughness up for this, and then I'm going to go with the leaves. New material. We can name this as fall, and I'm going to put these as orange, and I'm going to make them slightly metallic. So, what we can do with this, and this is a clever little trick that I have, the leaves themselves, if you put a noise texture onto them, you can actually have green and orange. So you kind of like that mid kind of fall look. Or if you want them orange and it's like going into winter, then that's an option that you can have as well. Depending on what you want is, you know, how we all do the materials. So you have this tree going on in the background, spooky, haunted kind of thing. We want some more shade and we want some more detail, so I'm going to go ahead and just put some detail on these trees. Do press save to save your work, please, I beg, because the last thing you want is to lose this. Let's go to the shading tab. We're going to add some texture to this tree. So click your tree. We'll go to add and we can go with color ramp. You're going to need color ramp for this one. Color to base color. And then add and noise. Noise texture. Color to FAC. And hopefully we should get some little texture going on. Look at all that little texture. Let's go plus and we're going to make this a nice little brown kind of shade. Just go ahead and temper that. Just about there. I think we'll pull the brown just over just a little bit and maybe just pull that black in just for that little bit of extra detail right there. Let's go ahead and change some stuff. Scale this up, scale it down, whatever you desire. So we've got that right there. Okay, so when we render this, we've got this nice little tree coming through. And because I was mentioning the leaves before, I'll show you how to do them. So, say you've got that mid-fall look, that mid-autumn look. So at the moment we just have orange. So if we take this right here, we go to add and we go noise texture. You want to go to color to base color. You'll notice if I click off this real quick, that if I scale this, you've got all these little points going on. You can kind of see the fuzziness. You can't really see it because the leaves are kind of too small on here. But let's go to add and I'll show you. Maybe it'll show up on color ramp. Let's place this in the middle. We want a green. So maybe we'll keep this grey throughout and then we'll plus orange. And then you want to go plus again. Change this to green. Yeah, this is a nice light green, dark green, whatever like that. Essentially what you want to do, you see how they're all green right there, yeah? Like mostly. Move your orange across. You see how they change? So you kind of have this nice little pattern going on. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of the whites for a moment. So you just want this green and orange. And if we go scale with this, you see how that changes? Like all the colours are just changing on there. So if we move the green across, we have more green, orange, and we have that variation just coming in. So the more that you the more that you scale the noise texture, the more orange leaves you will have in theory, depending on how you have it set up, and the less you do the more green and orange it will be. So you'll have green over here, orange over here, green over here, orange over here. But the basically just experiment with it, see what you can do. So with these leaves in particular, we can see that we have fall, and I'm just going to put a V for variant. So when we're making the leaves on the ground, we can go ahead, take these leaves, we'll go Shift D, I will just bring them down and I'm just going to squish them, essentially. Squishy leaves, come on. Let's go down again. Squish the leaves so that they're a nice pile. And make sure that the leaves are just sitting below the tree. So, let's go about here. You can just about see them there. Let's go again. Squish these down. Maybe you could go ahead and scale them out just a little bit to give it more effect. And you can just see them on the ground just there. What you want to do is make sure that they're perfectly flat. Might take a little bit of tinkering with this. And what you can do for more leaves, Shift D and then rotate them round. But first I want to change the material. So what we're going to do, click the new material button right here. If you can see my mouse, just where it says Fall V, you should have a double page, new material. So then this will say Fall V001. So we don't want it fall variant. We want this fall and we're going to go orange. So fall and O with this one. Remove the green. So just press the minus. These will all turn orange. So now you can see this kind of variation going on, if you can see that. Maybe make the orange a little bit brighter. And then you can go ahead and you can take away the grey. And then we can add maybe like a deeper orange, maybe like a red or something like that. Just to contrast that just ever so slightly. Click the leaves, Shift D, R for rotate, and just rotate them round. Another click again, Shift D, put this in the middle, R for rotate, and you're just building up the leaves essentially in the backdrop there. So Shift D, R for rotate, oops, maybe don't rotate them sideways, lengthways, and now you've got this tree that's shedding its leaves. So you can take this this nice little shed that you've got right here. Just make sure you don't click the background. Take the tree, take the leaves, take everything that you've just made, and we can go ahead and we can Shift D, maybe R for rotate, just to give it that nice little variation, and then we can go Shift D, move these across to the opposite side, R for rotate, just to give it the variation so it doesn't look like it's cloned, and then Shift D, and then we R rotate again. Now you can do this with 4 different separate trees by introducing TreeGen, but it depends on how much time you have to make your project. So if it's just a little bit of time, maybe TreeGen is not the way to do it. Maybe the way that I've just done it is the way that you would like to do it. So I'm just going to take the trees themselves and I'm just going to go ahead and just duplicate them on maybe the opposite side as well. So you got that kind of nice little spooky gate coming through. And we can also take the variation of all of these and just press G and just move them across so they're a little bit more central, but you kind of want that little imperfection. Almost like someone's planted the trees and they decided that they didn't want to grow straight, they kind of grew sideways or whatever like that. You could also take one of the particular trees and just place this as a variant so it's not quite, if we go to 7 to Heaven here, we can see that the trees are quite uniform right here. We can have that one little tree that's a bit off. Take this one, maybe we could press G, move this to the side. They didn't grow straight, you know, or maybe it's a forest, maybe like someone didn't maintain it for a while and this is what we've ended up with. Now, regards to trees being in the middle of a pathway, you probably wouldn't get trees growing like this, so we can go to add plane. Definitely you wouldn't have trees growing through brick. So let's go with this plane, scale this out. We'll go 7 to Heaven just for a moment. S, G to move this across, S to scale this up. I'm just going to go ahead and just make kind of like a fake kind of pathway. So with this we can go scale just on this side. Essentially what you want to do is go to the particles section, press plus, and instead of emitter we want hair. So you can see how all these little kind of hairs stick up right here. So this is going to be our grass. Grass is essentially the same as hair. So let's go with meters, bring this down. If you want messy grass, have it longer. If you want nice neat grass, keep it short. So we're going to do this grass. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of zeros to this. So we've got a nice thick lawn. Let's go to materials tab. We'll go new. Change this to green. So it's going to be grass green. And as I said before, we can use that variation as well. So we can, let's just name this as grass. And then what I'm going to do, shading tab, we've got the grass right here. Add noise texture. So we can change this solid green to a variation. So again, we've got all these little nice colours on there. So let's go add and we'll go colour ramp. Place this in the middle. Go plus, we're going to go green. And because this is Halloween, we're going to make it slightly yellow. So kind of have like a deep green right there. We could go ahead. This one, kind of like an orangey green. Like the grass has kind of died a little bit. The leaves as well, that you've placed at the back, if you use, so if we go to edit mode, particle edit, you can actually use the particle edit to separate the grass so you see those leaves. I'll show you that in a moment. So let's go with whites right here. We will change this one to, we could do it like a dusty brown kind of thing. Okay, so we have this nice little variation of lawn. What we can do right here, let's see, we're going to go to the particle edit. This is where we left our leaves. So you can go ahead and just edit different bits. Just kind of wave the grass around a little bit. It might take a while because mine's taking a while. Let's go radius up a little bit. Just kind of move this grass, make it almost like the wind's blowing. Make it less uniform. You should be able to see the leaves through the grass. Yeah. So you could also take some more leaves and just place them on top if that's what you'd like. Totally up to you. Just mess up that grass. Get it going in random directions. Someone didn't cut this. Let's get rid of that. Pull that down a little bit. Get rid of that variation right there. Okay, so once we've got this nice little grass going on, what we can do is we can look at this through the rendered. Now this is what it looks like. If we go to when my computer catches up, come on. Come on, you can do it. Uh-oh, we have a non-responding. Alright, I'm just going to go to object mode. I think this computer's getting a little bit OTT overwhelmed. Let's go Shift D, move this across to the side. We've got that nice little pathway going on. If you got to this bit, congratulations, because my computer's starting to slow down, so I can't imagine what's happening with everybody else's. Various different styles of PCs. So we'll go to layouts real quick. So we've got this nice little layout, the gates, we've got the trees right there, we've got the grass. And if we just hit the render button, this is what it should look like. It's a little bit too light for what I like. I mean, like, you could do a lot of different things with this. I mean, kind of for game design, it's pretty cool. I think that the grass, the triangles for the grass are a little bit too big, but that's okay because, you know, if you're using this as just little concepts, you can kind of go back in and just edit things. Yeah, I kind of like the way that this is going. My computer's really struggling with this. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to very, very quickly show you how to make some of the tiles at the bottom, and then I'm going to end this tutorial because it's taken a while. And I understand that I am very low on the camera right now because my chair's broken, and like I have the piston on my chair is so messed up. I'm slowly going down, so I'm going to get a new chair. This is insane. Like, I put myself like perfectly in the camera lens and then I disappear. Hi, I'm gonna be down here soon. Hi. So yeah, for as far as the tiles go, we could go add cube. This is just like a thing if you want to use this. Totally up to you. I would generally make sure you line this up with the bottom, so we can see that the bottom's right here. Just make sure this underneath the gate, so to speak. Put this in. Let's go with shade smooth, and I'm just going to go with modifier. We'll go smooth with this. Shade that in a little bit. So this is how you do the tiling, so to speak, or the cobbles. We'll go 7-7. I'm just going to press G, put this just outside of the gate right here, and then what we do is we just lay it as if it's bricks. So what I would suggest before you start duplicating things is add a texture. So let's go new texture, we'll call this brick. Maybe we could do this kind of like an offset white. Make it a little deeper. Let's go Shift D. Move this across, and essentially all you're doing is just placing it like bricks. So Shift D across, just there, make a row, select all of this that you've just made. You can probably see it better there actually. This is the top view right here, this is side view. We'll go Shift D, pull it across just like that, and then we'll offset this just to the middle. And then maybe you could go, you're going to have to duplicate again on the side just here. And maybe duplicate again on the side just here, just to get those bricks in. Let's go again, Shift D. It's a little bit of fiddling, but it's, once you're done with it, it should look somewhat good. Don't worry if it doesn't look great the first time, because it is trial and error. You're learning. That's how you do it. Let's go ahead and select all these bricks that we've just made. So we needed that one. I think that's just slightly out. Just make sure they're not clipping each other. Let's go and select all of these bricks. Okay, I'm just going to double click anything that you didn't want. So the background right there. Okay, so all you need to do at this point is just Shift D, move this up, duplicate it there. Obviously you got some holes here, so let's go Shift D, move that across. And then we'll go Shift D on the side, move that across. Doesn't have to be perfect. All you need to do is just select these rows. I shouldn't do that, I'll probably get copyright strikes. Let's go with Shift D right here. Move this across. Shift D. Shift D. And then we just move it across. Just going all the way down, essentially. You can go ahead and select 2 rows if you wanted to. So, got all these. Just going across. And we're going to start doing some at the back as well. Let's see, I'm going to go 7-7 because I can't see what I'm doing. Let's go G, Shift D, Shift D. Doing them in small parts, to be honest with you, is a lot easier, I think. Because if you press backspace, then the computer's going to have less to contend with. Okay, you know, I'm going to leave it like that, but it's just an example for you guys. So, the bricks themselves, let's click off that. So when we've done that, this is how it should look if my computer will render it. So you can see that we have the bricks that we've just made here are a little bit more 3D than the bricks that the kind of node or mapping does. It's totally up to you, you know, what you want and stuff like that. For me personally, if I was doing this as a project for, say, something that I was going to produce, I would put a lot more detail into these bricks. But that is basically how you do it. For the grass as well, I would definitely change this. There's a lot of things that I would change about this project, but because this is a tutorial, this is what I wanted to show you guys what you can do with this. So yeah, I guess that's a tutorial today. And as well, with the leaves coming at the back, if we go to the opposite side where we actually do have the leaves, if I just change this out just real quick. So, say we were looking at it from this side right here. This is the side that we put the leaves on. We can see that we've got these nice little leaves coming through as well. So with the grass as well, I mean, you could change the grass because I personally don't like the way that the grass is done. But yeah, it's just an example of what you can do with this. So if you guys like this tutorial, please like, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Okay, welcome guys to Blender. So I'm going to be doing Athens kind of themed stuff at the minute. What we're going to do to begin with is we're going to get rid of our default cube. So let's press delete on that one. Got the screencasting keys on, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a circle right here. Just scale it out. We're going to go to edit mode, press F just to fill that bad boy in. We're going to go E for extrude, just bring it up just slightly, scale it outwards, and then E for extrude again, and then E for extrude, and then we're just going to scale this inwards. So E for extrude, scale in, and we're just going to slowly bring this up. Just to a point like so. And we're just going to go E, just bring this up on the outside. And then we're just going to shade it in just slightly. So we'll do a little bit of a bevel. So E for extrude, and then E for extrude again, and then just scale it in just slightly. So you should have something like this. From this point, we are going to add another object onto the top of it. So just go to object mode, right click, shade smooth. We're going to make a material for this. So you want to press new. And then we're going to go for materials, which we're going to go for kind of a rock kind of colour. Now don't worry about this because we're going to change this in shading anyway. So rock kind of texture. And then we're going to go to add, and we'll go to circle, press G to bring it up. Now what you want to do with this one, if we go onto the X-ray, we can see that it's on the inside right here. Press G to bring it up slightly. We're going to want to go to edit mode, press F to fill, and then we're going to go E for extrude, scale outwards, so that it just comes onto the base here, so you might want to just pull that down just slightly. E for extrude, scale outwards, E for extrude, scale outwards, E for extrude, and then we're just scaling outwards until we've kind of got this bulb kind of thing going on. So this is going to be one of our decorations for the garden. I'm just going to scale that one back in again. If I just press 1, then we can see what we're doing. E for extrude, scale outwards. And then once you get to the top, just go E for extrude again, and then we're going to start to scale kind of just slightly inwards. And then E for extrude, don't move it, scale in. And then E for extrude again, so it's kind of got this little lip going on. And then we're going to go E for extrude, don't move it, scale it outwards. And then E for extrude. And then we will do E for extrude again. Move it up just slightly, bring it in. Let me think. And then we're just going to make kind of like a bowl. So I'm just going to go back to 1 again. G, oh, sugar. G just to bring that down a little bit. Just scale it outwards. Oops, right. G, scale this Why is this not working? S, scale inwards. Then we're going to go E for extrude. Just scale it inwards just slightly and then bring it back outwards again. And we're just going to go very sharply kind of over the edge. Now once you get to this point, press E for extrude, don't move it, scale outwards, and then go E for up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to shade it inwards. So we're going to go E for extrude, scale inwards, might be actually better on the side. E for extrude, scale inwards, E for extrude, scale inwards, until we get to about this point. And then we're going to go E for extrude, go down, scale inwards just slightly, and then E for extrude, just scale inwards. And then we can slowly start coming down into the base of the flower pot kind of thing. You don't have to make this perfect on the inside, it can just be straight down or curved just slightly. Right click, shade smooth, just take it off the X-ray. Come on, there we go. So this is a piece of pottery that we have. I'm just going to scale this down just slightly and then just bring it up as well. Just by slight, I think. I think the base is a little bit too big. So, I'm just going to edit this. Let's go X-ray mode, 1. I'm just going to select, oops, come on. This part right here, scale it inwards. Just pull that a little bit, G. Okay, perfect, I think. That looks roughly the way that I want it. So in this middle part right here, we're going to put some parts. Let me see. We're going to go with, let's subdivide. I think every second one. Just like this. So I'll leave 2 spaces, subdivide. See if this works. Hopefully I got the calculations on this correct. Every 2. It doesn't matter if you've got like 1 missing, because it kind of say that this pottery has been damaged. Oh, there we go. Right, so what you want to do at this part is take all these little parts right here. So you want to select this one in the middle, this one in the middle, this one in the middle, and just keep going for the ones that we've just created. And press G just to bring them up. Now what we want to do is select everything between. So these ones right here. So anything that's got vertices that's upwards. Select those. Shift. And then click Control. And then select diagonally. Make sure that you go all the way to the rim as well. So we're going to go E for extrude and just scale outwards. And then just scale down just slightly. So this is going to give us a kind of little pattern going around the edge of the bowl kind of thing. Okay, so the next part that we want to do is maybe a floor. So we're just going to add plane in, just scale it out. And then I'm going to move this little ornament that we've made just to the side over here. Oh, come on. And I'm going to position the camera, say just about here. So if we go to view, align camera to view. Now you notice half of this is missing. So click on the camera on the outside and just place the end point a little bit higher. I'm just going to rotate this just slightly. And just flatten it out. Just press G to move it around. Then we'll rotate it upwards a little bit. Just going to place that right there. And then have the camera pointing upwards. So we should have something like this, kind of like a floor kind of view. Okay, so I'm just gonna press G, bring it back a little bit. And I'm gonna place this in the corner so you guys can see that one. Okay, so the scene itself, we want some walls here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in some cubes, but I'm also going to make some pillars as well. So if you add a cylinder, just scale it upwards, press G, bring it up. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go from the top first, so press E for extrude, and then we're just going to scale out a very nice little pattern on the top of these. So E for extrude, E for extrude, scale it inwards, E for extrude, scale it out, just make kind of this nice little pattern thing going on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place some little bits on the edge here. So that should be the top of it. Just press A. I'm just going to scale it down and just elongate it a little bit at the bottom. So G to elongate, A, and then bring it up. Again with your G. And we're just going to go E for extrude, move it outwards just a little bit. Make a little nice pattern at the bottom. Scale it in. So we've kind of got this kind of reach going on. Shade smooth. Now on top of here we're going to put, let's go with cylinders. Press G, bring it up. Oops. Rotate it so it's on its side. Then we're going to go to edit mode. And we're just going to get rid of these two sides. So just press delete, faces, press A. And then we're going to go E for extrude, keep it where it is, and then S to scale. And just go inwards. Roughly about there. Shade it smooth. Then this one is going to be, press G, bring it down. Scale it. This is going to be some kind of patterns on the side of the actual pillar itself. Shift D, bring it over. Then we can go Shift D again, then G. You can make this one smaller actually. Just make sure that they're roughly the same size, but this one a little bit smaller. And then we can go Shift D, just bring the other one over. So we got this kind of pattern thing going on underneath. And then we can actually add another 2 on top. So these 2 at the side, you want it to be flat, relatively on top. So we're just going to scale this down. Scale to go across. Press G, bring it down. And then do the same for the opposite side. And then you can just build in the middle here as well. So just make sure all of these are roughly the same size, so just scale them out as needed. So you can see these 2 are the wrong size, they need to be brought back. So now what we want to do is add a square on top. It's going to go cube, G, bring it up, scale it out, and then flatten it down. So it roughly just sits on top. And then you want to take the exact same cube, Shift D, and bring it down to the bottom. Just scale this one up. And there's your pillar for the first couple of them. So this is going to be the same shade, I think, as this one right here. Might be slightly darker. So just keep your pillar where it is for now. And then we can go ahead and add for the wall. Just trying to think here the best way to do it. We'll go with a cube. Scale it upwards. We'll put the wall on this side to begin with. So just press G, bring it over. Now you're going to want to go for the same theme throughout. So some of this wall that we're building right here we'll put onto the opposite side too. So I'm just going to place this one just roughly here. And then we can just edit this as such. So we could do a loop cut in the middle. Just scale it inwards. A loop cut at the bottom. Scale that one outwards. So it's almost like it's been cut. Then we do the middle again. Scale this one outwards. So it's rough cut. Maybe we could pull this in just a little bit. And then on top here, you just bring this down, E for extrude, slightly, scale it out, and then E for extrude again, and then E for extrude, and then we can just scale it in. And then from this point we could go ahead and add another cube. Just bring this over. And we're going to make a little fence here, so just elongate it. Press G, move it up, bring it across. This is going to be the base of our wall. So we will edit this one, take the top, E for extrude, scale it inwards, sideways. So you've got this kind of very sideways wall going on. Press G, bring it down. And then for the top one we're going to add, we could actually duplicate this actually. Duplicate it, bring it up, and then we're going to flatten this one. So for the kind of pillars in the middle, the struts, we're going to go for a circle, mesh circle, and then we'll go G, bring it over. So we've got something like this. Go into edit mode, F to fill, E for extrude. We want to make it like almost like a pinball from a bowling alley. Like a pin from a bowling alley, so to speak. So E for extrude, S to scale, E for extrude, and then we're just going to start scaling it in. Just scale it in as such. Kind of make this real fancy. Then we can just bring it up as such. Just maybe pull it out just slightly. And this will be the pillar. So shade smooth. We're just going to scale it down. And what you want to do is scale it so that it fits just between here. And it should be just there. Just press G, bring it over. Shift D, and then I think we could press 1. No. So we're going to go minus. I think -5 would be good. Yeah. So Shift D, -5. Shift D, -5, or however you're doing it. Shift D, -5. On that one. So that should be fine. I'm just going to elongate these ones just slightly. I just press G and bring them over. Because we want to put the pillar on there as well. So they just need a little bit of elongation there. Take this. Bring it over. So now we can take this part, or this part, 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 and then we can take this part as well, and we can just go Shift D and duplicate it over. So now we've got this little fence going on. So I actually want to take some of this fence and just place it just at the side here, just rotate by 90. Take this part and then just bring it over. I think I'm going to take this again. Shift D. And just press G, bring it over. Make sure that it all aligns. And then, I think I'm going to move this camera back a little bit actually. Just press G, move it back. G just to move it up. And then elongate this. Okay, so for this next part I'm going to put some, so the garden's got 2 levels to it. It's got a kind of back bit that's a bit higher and this bit that's a bit lower. So I'm going to go ahead and put some cubes in here. Just some mesh. So put a cube in. scale it up, bring it over. So scale that. If we go into edit mode, we can work with the actual faces themselves. So bring this face forward, press G, and then bring this face forward, press G, and then we'll bring this face back, because we're going to reuse this in a minute, and then bring this face back because this is where the stairs are going to be. E for extrude on this side, and then we're going to go E for extrude this way. So this is where the pillars come in actually. So if we go back to the object mode, take this pillar, and we're just going to bring it down towards the garden. You might need to scale it down if you've made it a bit too big like I have. Scale it down, bring it up a little bit, and then we're just going to start placing these just on the edges. I think it's a little bit too tall for my liking. And then I'm just going to duplicate these as well. I'm going to rotate them actually so they face outwards. So just rotate by 90. Shift D to duplicate. Bring one over to the side. Shift D to duplicate. And then I'm just going to put one in the middle as well. And then what we can do as well, we can do Shift D duplicate. Bring it over to the side. And then we can do Shift D duplicate. Bring over to the side as well. And then I might copy the pattern just at the back. So you should roughly have this. That one's out of place obviously, but or you could take all three if you wanted to. To be honest with you, I might do that. So it's a little bit more uniform. So if you just place it on the edge there, just box select, should be able to get all three. And then just press Shift D and just duplicate those over. Okay, so we're also going to be wanting some on this side as well. So Shift D again, rotate them by 90. Just press G, bring them back. And then that should be okay for the pillars just for the moment. I'm just going to place another fence, I think. Actually, you know what, I could place pillars. I could place pillars in front of this, to be honest with you. I'm just going to scale, elongate this one just a little bit. Press G, move it back. So you've kind of got that weird kind of fountain look on it. I'm just going to elongate these ones as well. Stretch that outwards. And then I'm going to take this one, Shift D, press G, move it towards all the pillars so they've kind of got this kind of extra support, but just elongate them just slightly. Just make sure it's central. Then Shift D and do the same to the next one. So we've kind of got this rugged pattern going on without this being the pattern. So the next bits would be the steps. You can continue this pattern as well if you want to. Just press G, bring it across, and then just select all of the pillars right here. Box select. Oh, yeah. Put it on object mode first. Box select all of this. Double click this just to get it off, and then select these individually. You can also do Shift D, move it across. Obviously one of them is not going to have the pillar box underneath. You're going to have to put that back in. But yeah, you can move that across right there. And then we can take this, Shift D, place it right in the middle. So this part's going to be where the stairs are. So let's try with a cube to begin with. press G, bring it over, scale it outwards. Now usually what I do is I scale it back just like this, like so. I'll find where the edge to my parting is, and then I'll bring the parting to it. So let's go E fret extrude. Let's bring that to the back there. Take this, E fret extrude. I'm just going to go straight across because this is the higher part of the garden. And then go to your object mode, take this, press G, bring it up as close as you can, just align it a little bit, then bring it forward. So if you go into the edit mode, you can also bring the base up, so just press G, bring that up, so it's roughly flush with the floor. So on this part right here, what you want to do is Control R and then make it so that it's like this. Go to the faces and you just want to press all of these, E fret extrude, maybe press 10, no, sorry, press 5. So you've got this little step coming down. Deselect this one, select all of these, E fret extrude and press 5. It'll give you the exact same step width. E fret extrude, press 5. Again, same step width. E fret extrude, press 5. And then you've got that again. Now you can come back into these and bevel them a little bit, or you can bevel these by the modifier. Let's see what we can do here. Bevel. That's generally how it is. Just by slight. I'm just going to scale this up outwards just slightly and move it over. Just press G so that it kind of fits and sits. Okay, so that is the upper part of the garden just right there. So maybe on this side as well, you just want to loop cut that. So Control R, loop cut it just at the back, and then take this face and then just E fret extrude just around the back, so it's kind of a sunken garden kind of theme going on. So you notice that it also clips the side here, so if it does that, just selects this face, this face, this face, this face, this face, this face, this one, and this one, and just press G and just bring them back. So at the moment, if you go to the render and you go on to cycles and then render this as cycles, this is what we've currently got. So you'll notice that the colour's off, the lighting's wrong, everything about it is kind of a bit messed up, but we've not done the lighting yet, nor have we done any of the shading tabs. So we will make the roof next and then we'll move on to the next part. So we go back to regular render. I'm just going to quickly save this. If we add cube, press G. That's weird, that's why I just added cube. Come on. Right, add cube, press G. And then just bring it over to here. Scale it outwards. Scale it downwards. And we're just going to go ahead and place the roof roughly on top of the pillars. G to go down. And then we'll just adjust it just slightly here as well. Just going to put this down just slightly. Okay, so for this part we're going to go E fret extrude, don't move it. Scale it inwards. E fret extrude, and then we're going to go E fret extrude and kind of scale outwards, and then E fret extrude, and we can scale this inwards. I'm actually going to cheat a little bit here. E for extrude. E for extrude again. Then we can do this kind of large roof. E for extrude. Scale it inwards. Let's press G, bring it up. And just scale inwards just there. Now if we take this entire object and we scale this down just slightly. Make sure it's on top of the pillars. Shade smooth if you will. And then we're going to go shift duplicate and then scale this across just a little bit. So we've got kind of the secondary roof right here that's just coming across. Now you notice that these two parts will kind of pull outwards a little bit, so we can change that in a moment. But as long as your roof roughly fits, it should be okay. So press G, just bring it over. And then we're going to edit these side parts right here. So what you want to do is select all the side faces. So select this one. Select these two. Anything that protrudes outwards on both sides. And then just scale them in so that they're back relatively a normal size for the roof. Just gonna pull this one in just slightly. Or I could pull it out actually. So we've got a nice little roof going on. Now I'm going to extend this a little bit so we've got some depth on this. Edit. And select these faces right here. Press G, move it outwards. And then we're going to select these pillars right here. Go back to object mode, select these pillars right here. Double click this to get it off, double click this to get it off, and double click this to get it off. And then we will duplicate it. So, sorry, 1 second, let me just redo that. Box selects those. Yeah, okay. So double click this to take that off, double click. Press Shift D, bring it over. And just place them so that they're roughly on the opposite side right there. I think these two ceilings need to be brought down just by slight. Press G, bring them down. And that is roughly the garden. We're going to put some trees in between all of this as well. Yeah, we need some other plant pots on top. So I'm going to take this and this, Shift D, and we can just duplicate this around as a little bit of a prop. Just going to put one of these on each side of the steps. Shift D that one, put that one there. It doesn't matter if it's floating at the moment because we're going to be putting some trees here. You can also do Shift D and just move one of those over. So there should be a house in the background as well. So we're going to grab this, edit mode, and just press G, bring it back. And then we'll take this one as well and we'll press G and just bring this one back as well. So, for this one, make sure you're in object mode. Go to add and we'll go to cube. Scale it outwards. It's going to be the house that goes in the back. So, just bring it towards the back just there. Scale it outwards. Scale it up. and then just remember just to bring it up as well. And then we're going to scale the back as well. So edit mode, go for this face right here, press G, bring it back. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this down just a little bit, because it's just off camera. We want to go with E-fret extrude, maybe, yeah, E-fret extrude I think. And then I'm going to just move these ones. So this one, press G, move it back, this is part of the ceiling. Then we want to go just slightly back with that one. See, I'm just kind of experimenting at the moment because it's an odd shaped roof. Let's press G, bring that up. G, bring that forward. It's kind of a roof that goes downwards, has a little bit of a slant, then comes back out and then goes downwards again, which for me, I'd personally, let me backtrack this a minute. I think the best way of doing this would be to have a square like this, and then we will take E-fret extrude on this part, and then we'll place the roof separately on top. So if I can get rid of this bit, just press G, bring it down, but then rotate it so that it's a roof. Bring that up. I think that should be okay for the background house. I'm just going to scale it down a little bit, just by slight, because we're going to have plants all here as well anyway, so you probably won't be able to see it. Just going to bring it down just slightly. Let's move this part upwards. It's kind of a weird double roof. Yeah, I could just make this as a balcony, to be honest with you. I think it would be a lot neater and a lot nicer if I just kind of did my own thing with it. Yeah, let's make this a balcony. Screw it. I'm going off the books. It's a weird shaped building, and to be honest with you, like, it's just too much, I think. Just gonna scale it like this. Bring these two parts up so we've kind of got an archway. G, bring them up. E-fret extrude. Oops. E-fret extrude, and then yeah, just basic building in the background. Just shade it smooth. We'll put some detail to that in a moment, but I think it's just with it being a background building, it's just kind of like, you know, you don't really need much detail for it if it's a picture. Fair enough if you've got a game going on or something like that and you want to put more texture to it, then yes, but for the moment I'm just going to leave it like that until I can do the foreground. So I'm going to do curve. We'll do tree sampling gen. It sounds really lazy of me saying that, you know, like just leave it the way that it is, but to be honest with you, I just want to work on different things before I work on that because it's just such a big distraction. Let's go with geometry, load present. We'll go with a few different trees. In here, let's go with leaves, show leaves. Yeah, these are perfect. I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. Take this leaf, we'll go to materials, new, and for the materials on this one, we'll go for green leaf, and then just make these green. And then for the base, we'll just go with a brown. So take this one, take this one. We'll Shift D duplicate. You can make these bigger, smaller, whatever like that. And just place them around. Scale them out. Just place these around the place, kind of thing. Wherever you'd like. Have them growing at the side. Have them growing in pots. Just the garden's been a bit unkept. You could have one there. There's some bushes at the back here, so maybe we could go Shift D, just pull these in there for a bit. And then we've got some trees at the back just next to the house, so you can make these pretty big. Let's leave a little bit of a pathway for people to walk, I guess. And just start putting these just at the back. Rotate them every so often, so they're not showing the same pattern. And then maybe just put some extra ones in certain places. So we should have something like this once it's rendered. Obviously we've not done the lighting just yet, and we need to do all this stonework and stuff like that. So this tree that's sat in the middle, just take this, come off render, take this and just place it somewhere. So there's actually a tree off the camera just here. Place this here. And then maybe some more trees just up at the back. You can also vary the leaf shade as well. Change it into a different material. And right at the back we've got kind of a forest going on, so I'm just going to press G, scale this up just a little bit, and then just kind of get some background going on here, just a bit of a filler. So yeah, this is what it should look like now. Got plants and foliage everywhere. So I would say we should go on to the shading tab, and we should start shading a few of these things. So if we go into view, viewpoint, camera, just bring these over, and then we will go for maybe this roof first, which is white stone. So we're going to go to noise texture right there. Let's move this up, and then color to base color. So we're just going to call this stone, and then put pale. Turn this roughness up just a little bit. We want to add a bump. Put the bump in there. Height, bring it up. Your colour ramp, add colour ramp. Put a little bit of a colour ramp in there, just pull the white more than the black. Scale it up a little bit. And then just pull the roughness up as well. So when you do this one, you can also click this one, go to the drop down menu, go to stone pale, and we'll get the stone pale right there. Let's see. I'm just going to pull the alpha down just slightly. Actually, no, I'm going to keep it the way that it is. See. Oh, sugar. Let's see what happens if we get rid of the black. So we've just kind of got a white, and then maybe add a pale yellow in there, just slightly. So we've still got the bump going on, it's just that it's a little bit more paler. We could take this one as well. We could add pale to this, pale to this. Just keep it kind of a uniform colour. So it looks like it's been taken from the same slab, so to speak. It doesn't matter about the ones off camera, but if you're making a game or you're panning this or whatever like that, I would definitely make sure the colour is uniform off camera as well as on camera. Oops. So we notice that the lighting is completely out. So if we take this lighting right here, we just delete it off. Go back to layer. And we're going to put a sun. So we're going to add, let's see, light, sun. Press G, bring it over. And then just slightly rotate it. I can rotate, just bring it over. So in theory, just have this kind of theme going on. Just going to rotate that round just slightly. And then we can increase the power. Make it slightly yellow. For these leaves, we can actually make them just slightly darker. They seem a bit too cartoony to me. So I'm just going to pull these leaves just slightly. And then I'm going to pull the alpha as well on some of them. You can pull the IOR as well. So the background, as you notice, it's very grey, so we kind of want this as a little bit of a blue. Just going to brighten that up just a little bit. And the leaves have gone a little bit blue as well, so I'm just going to mess with the IOR. Just to kind of bring some of that colour back. It's building that's in the background. You have this as a kind of pale rock kind of colour, the same way that we've got this just here. So rock. Take this one as well, change that. And then take these two that are at the top of the stairs. And change these to rock as well. This one right here, change it to rock. So now we're primarily looking at making some sort of floor out of this. So if we go shading, we could go new, we could go brick, colour to base colour, reset that offset, scale up, mortar size, put it down to 0.1. We're going to go bump, place the bump in, colour to height, and then we're going to add the colour ramp in the middle right here. Let's see, frequency, we can mess around with frequency. Yeah, I'd say bring your frequency up as well, so when we render, we should have something like this. I'm just going to bring the roughness up as well, just on this path. With these steps, we could also do the same thing. Let's see what it looks like with material 002, just for the steps. Yeah, you could kind of have this kind of step look within that. Now, what I would do is I would take this as a second material. So, just take this, duplicate it. So you're now material 3. We'll put this as steps. And then we're just going to take down the black a little bit. So this is what it should look like. I'm feeling a lot of heat coming from under my desk. So what you can do as well is you can add a noise to this. So if we go on noise texture, go to colour, and then place it in colour 1. I'll bring that up a little bit. Now, 1 second before we do this, if I just backtrack 1 second, I got the wrong one. So click the floor, and then add the noise. Noise texture. Colour to colour 1, scale it up a little bit, and now we've kind of got this offset going on. Also darken that just slightly if you wanted to, make it slightly metallic, however you'd like it. So the pillars tend to be this very kind of dark kind of shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backdrop right here. This should have the same shade as the base here. So I believe if we look at the plane, sorry, it should have put the thing in. So if I just put floor, click the back one, and then put floor in again, we should in theory have the same theme, however it is a bit darker. So what we're going to do is press plus again and have this as floor 2. Just bring back that black a little bit, and maybe bring the white forward. And also what it does, it gives it more detail in between too. So this floor right here, we could actually mess around with some of the settings a little bit. Now we've got these two as 2 separate materials. So if you wanted to, you could place another colour onto this, or another texture. So we could Shift D, move this over, colour to colour 2. And we can scale this down just a little bit. So we got this variant in texture. Now for the pillars and all of this, we want its own little texture going on. So these are generally, some of them are white, some of them are a lot darker. So we'll go for a new one, and we'll press the pillar light. And we're gonna duplicate this over to the second one. So you want to add noise texture, color to base color, add to bump in the middle right here, color to height. Just scale that up, and then we're going to add color ramp. You want to make these slightly yellow, just in stature. As if they've been worn for quite some time. Give them a slight little bit of metallic. If we go off the render view here and we just select each one. So this was material pillar light. Pillar light. Pillar light. Just keep going with this. Oh, come on. Pillar lights. This one at the back, actually. Yeah, let's do pillar light for those ones. Pillar light again. Pillar light. Pillar light. And we should have something like this. I think I'm going to add some more bushes into this at some point, but I think it's a bit OTT at the minute. And maybe add another stairwell at the back just to give it some depth. So, if we go on to the regular mode, the layout mode. Come on. I'm just waiting for this to finish rendering because it's taking its sweet time. I'm just going to take the stairwell right here. I'm just going to Shift D and I'm just going to duplicate it over so it looks like there's another level to the garden back here. I just pull it across in front of the building. I'm going to take these bushes as well. I just move these back. Then I'm going to place these bushes just 90 degrees in this garden as well. Borders it off just a little bit. And maybe we could do some more bushes just back here by taking some of these. Shift D. So I'm gonna do the f-stop, the depth of field. So just select one object right here. If we go onto this tab right here, we can actually mess around with the f-stop. So we can blur things, we can unblur things. Makes it look a bit more detailed. So we should have something like this. So, that building at the back's kind of bothering me a little bit. I think it's white, but because of the shade of the sun, it should be kind of orange at the front. So I'm going to change it to white. And then increase the metallic just slightly. And then I'm going to put the sun as a little bit more of an orange. Yeah. Shadow caustics, max bounces. Make sure they're up as well. And I'm just going to have this one right here. Let's go to shading. I'm just going to place a black in the middle. A little bit of a darker shade. Just to pull some of that detail in just a little bit. And then maybe we could put some little bushes just at the bottom here, like it's been unkept over the years. And maybe some more trees in this background right here, Shift D. Let's get rid of this one. And then maybe take one of these trees. Shift D. Scale it outwards. It's kind of got this overhang of branches. I don't know. I don't think I like that though. Let's go G, bring it down. Yeah, I don't like that. Just gonna remove that. So and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make some adjustments to the scene because I don't like some of the things that I did. Go back to regular. So this right here, I just don't. I've been looking at this for a while, just thinking to myself, like, usually if you were a gardener or you were a planner or something for a garden, you just wouldn't have this here. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna take this, press G, and I'm just gonna scale it outwards a little bit, or maybe we could go G. Let's bring that back actually. Just unselect this one. Oops. Yeah, just I don't want the tree. Just select these ones when I can get there. Press delete and then take this one, press G, bring it up, and just scale it up a little bit. And scale it outwards just a little bit. I don't think, personally, it looks weird. I'm just gonna scale that down just slightly. Just maybe have it as a little bit of a flower bed. Also, I accidentally put 3 lights in this as well, and the floor. So I want a little bit of shading right here, so I'm just going to go with caustics. So if we go to this tab right here, which is objects, I believe it's shading, and then we're going to go cast caustics, receive caustics, and then I'm going to make it slightly metallic, a little bit more than it already is, and then make this floor catch caustics and receive caustics. And then we're going to go into the shading tab, and I'm just going to change down the roughness just a little bit. So we've kind of got that light coming at the side, radiating upwards, to just pull some of this detail out a little bit. I'm also going to pull the f-stop when it catches up. Here we go. So just go to the camera, pull the f-stop a little bit. So it's like 0.2, or you could go 0.3 if you wanted to. I just, like, something was bothering me about the scene and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, so I had to pause it a little bit and then, like, just look and just be like, what is wrong with this? Like, something was just off about it. Secondly, this building right here, it's too much of a distraction, I think. I don't like it. So I'm gonna press G, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm just gonna put it down a little bit, so we can see that we've got a building there, but it's not as a big distraction. Yeah. The other thing that I wanted as well was kind of some edging. I'm just gonna scale this down actually, and then we can do like the roof edging just here, just on the side. The other thing as well, I don't think there's enough depth right here. I think it's just too blocky. So I'm going to go to layout. I'm going to go ahead and take these trees. I'm going to move them back. The sun can come with. It's cool. Let's just deselect the sun a moment. Scale these up. Just slightly so they've got kind of a bush look to the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this part right here. We'll go to edit. I'm just going to go, let me see here. Just take these, press G, bring them back. Loop cut it, Control R. Bring this just in here, and then I'm going to take this right here, and then E for extrude, bring it up to the base level kind of thing. So this house is kind of on a hill, in a way. Just going to press G, bring it up just a slight more. Let's see, just slightly just there. And then maybe we could take the roof for this cube. Just press G, bring it up. Excuse me. And then just bring it over to the roof. Scale it across. Just gonna go ahead and place it up against the roof. Scale it outwards. Edit mode. And then I'm going to take this face right here. Press G. Bring it up. And we just go straight across. Just there. Press this for this face. G. Bring it up. Just kind of a basic roof. Just for the background. Maybe just bring it out just slightly at the sides. I'm going to go E for extrude. Scale down on this side. I just kind of have it like this. It's kind of this little whole overhang kind of going on. And then just give this kind of a brown texture. Or maybe we could do a little bit of a noise on that brown texture as well. Definitely going to turn up the roughness. So now we have like this huge void right here. We could put some more houses just kind of going up that way, but it looks like it has more depth to it. Another one of these would work great just here. Maybe get rid of this tree. Move it over a little bit. Let's see. So this tree right here. Just press G, bring it over. And then we're taking another one of these. Just press D. Bring that forward. Put that there in theory, and then make another one. And put this up at the top. Press G. So you kind of got that continuous kind of thing going on. I'm just going to move this one to the side just to give it some more depth. Just a little bit more. And the sky right here, we could go to world settings at the bottom right here. Just bring this up. Add, and then noise, texture, colour to colour. Just kind of mess around with this a little bit. Let's add a colour ramp. Put a blue. Just in the middle. Yeah, I think that extreme blue is looking nice. Maybe just darken that off just slightly. So now we've got clouds. And as regards to the floor, I don't think it's tiled enough. I can make my own tiles, I guess, but I just don't like the way that this floor is done. Let's go to object. I think roughness, we should take this nice texture right here and stick that in the roughness. Maybe instead of having grey, let's have white. Pull the metallic up just a little bit. Pull this roughness up. And then maybe just rotate this sun just a little bit. Maybe just pull that up just a bit more. I think that looks a lot better from what it did. I don't like the way that the sun's looking though, so I'm just going to render this on this side. Let's see, take this sun. Maybe move this out just a little bit. Rotate this. And then maybe put some caustics on here as well. So your caustics are in the shading. Cast caustics, receive caustics. Just make this marble a little bit more shiny. Just make it slightly bit more metallic. Take the roughness down just a little bit. So you've got that nice little glow coming from underneath. I don't like that floor. I really don't like that floor. Let's take the house right here and duplicate it so there's a bit more of a house down the road kind of thing. And maybe we could just pull that up a little bit so we could go G. Pull it up so it looks like it's on a hill. Maybe take some of these trees right here. Shift D them. Scale them down. Rotate these in 90 degrees. Let's see, we could do some of these trees actually as small little weeds as well. We could do these, Shift D, scale them all the way down as much as you can. Just press G. Bring them up, bring them across, bring them up again. Shift D. Come on, Shift D. Okay, it's not Shift D me. Let's try it on there. Shift D. Come on. Okay, that's just really weird. Shift D. You're seeing this, right? This isn't just me. It's not Shift D-ing. Where have they gone? Oh, there it is. Like, so it's for some reason just decided to make stuff underneath. Okay. I think it's kind of buggy. What else can we do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these trees with the leaves and stuff and replant some more of them. So little bushes and stuff like that. Just going about the business. So we take these ones. Oh, I think we're... Oh, shit. Sugar. I think this program's about to close down. Okay, let's go edit mode. Plus. I'm gonna do a secondary one of this. These are a lot lighter. Okay, I'm just gonna try all this. See if that works. I'll assign it. Right, so if I take this, just place it around places, I guess. Right there. G, move it across. Scale it upwards. See how this looks. That's going to give the trees a little bit of a different shade. Moving through. So there's a little bit of variation there. I still don't like that floor. That floor is just really bad. I actually might do black and white tiles just going across the floor because I think that would look just way better. So let's just add a cube right there. We just scale it down. Edit mode, take this, E, scale it in. Just go object mode, shade smooth. This one will be floor black, I guess. See, this is all appearing right here, but it's just kind of, it's not working the way that I want it to. Let's go with, wow, I'm just trying to think. Plus new, we'll go with this new one. We'll just go white tile. And we'll assign this. Edit. Press A, assign all. And then we'll Shift D, move across. And then we'll put this one as black tile, I think. But what I want to do is I want to get these roughly the size of these other tiles that we've got right here. Just bring it down. And then we'll do the black tile on this side. So this tile can just be floor. Assign. So we've kind of got that texture going through it. Let's go on 7. Okay, so just want to pull these just to the side because they're all the same size anyway. And then just select again. And then just duplicate. And then just select again. And then we're just going to go down. So then hopefully we select all of these. They should, in theory, fit together for this entire thing. So let's move these down just to about there and up to the build side right there. And then we can just go Shift D, duplicate over, just put them in. Shift D, duplicate over, just put them in on this side, and then we can go Shift D, duplicate, and then go Shift D, and then just duplicate these. Shift D, duplicate, Shift D, duplicate, just keep going. And these tiles should look a lot better than what we had. I think that should be the runoff right there. That should be fine. Yeah. Okay, so now we have that. This is how it should look. I think that looks way better. Personally, the way that it is. Maybe just bring that floor up a little bit and that would be perfect. Bring this reflective tone down just a little bit. So just reduce the metallic. Oops. Bring up this roughness. Maybe we should do these with the black ones actually. Actually makes more sense. Yeah, that looks so much better. Okay, so we're just gonna bring up this plane right here. We can have these little gaps. I think that looks way better. Okay, so I'm gonna take this this texture right here. I'm gonna darken it a little bit. The rock one. Let's go to the shading tab actually. Because this is connected to this right here, so I want to change this to kind of a brown, but I want a oh, what do we want? Noise. Sorry, so much is going on today, like I'm just like, okay. This is my day today. Great. I'm just gonna put this with that one and then just darken it just a little bit. Improve the metallic just slightly. Maybe not as dark. Just bring that up just slightly again. You don't want it the same shade as this, but you do want some sort of darkness to it. This right here, the plane that we have underneath here, I'm just going to turn down the metallic on it. Maybe put the roughness into the metallic. Just kind of rough that up a little bit and then bring the black in, maybe. Alternatively, I could just get rid of this one and just have this as just its own standalone. So if we go new, and then we could do just black for this with roughness up. For this building right here, I'm just going to change the tones. We're going to take this one off. New. And we'll go slightly metallic. Roughness up. And then we can add, we could get some beveling going, I guess. I want to also turn the sun around just a little bit. So the light's just coming straight across to here. Or maybe we could turn around just that way. I think that would look a little bit better. And then maybe change this yellow out for a bit more of an orange. The sky right here, we could go to world. Get some yellow in this. Just to match the lighting of the sun a little bit. Maybe that's too much. Maybe just add a white in here as well. I'm just going to move these blues back a little bit too. So it should look something like that. Just for the clouds and stuff. I'm going to put another wall just at the back here so it gives it a little bit more depth. And maybe just bring this camera up a little bit too. Okay, so as for the wall, we go back to layout. Bring that to the side there. And maybe we could add some of these pillars just in as well for like a little shelter kind of thing. Bring this cross tree, bring it over. It's almost like there should have been something there, but there's nothing there anymore. Just gives it a little bit more depth. So now we can see that there's another platform just here, rather than just one continuous staircase. I think I might alter the colour of these as well. These little tiles should be a little bit lighter. So now we have that black and white theme going on. That is exactly the theme that I wanted. For some reason it's done that. Yeah, we've got that now. For these ones right here, these pillars right here, we need to put, we could put rock kind of texture to them. Bring that detail out a little bit. We could even put a roof on this if you wanted to give it some more depth. And then we could have another building coming in the background here, which I think would be pretty cool. So if I just squeeze this down a little bit, just take this building right here, Shift D, move it across. For some reason it's not gone with the roof. Make this a deeper orange. And I think I might put this roof, like this little portion of roof, just on top of here. Gives it some more depth. And maybe pull the f-stop just a little bit. I'm going to change the object actually for the f-stop to maybe this one right here. Something in the middle. Let's make that a 2 or a 3. And then just stretch this over. Just this one. Maybe, actually, you know what, I could take the one from the back and stretch this over because it's going to look a lot better. Scale it down. G, move it across. And that should be roughly okay when it renders. I think I'm just going to move that just a little bit, just to the side, and then just scale it outwards. I think that should be it. Okay guys, welcome to the next Blender tutorial. So we're going to be doing like a little chandelier here today. It's a little project that I did a while back that I just want to show you guys, and basically just, you know, kind of make something nice for you guys, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a lot of diamonds, we're going to be doing a lot of kind of hanging rope kind of things. So what you want to do is just add a cylinder. And all we're going to do is duplicate this entire thing. So we just need to make the one part and then just duplicate it out. And it'll look pretty good, actually. So we're just going to get your cylinder as thin as you can. And then just shape